our CEO and co-founder of Sisel. And, he's just taken the helm of this, after Dad passed away, and such a big responsibility that I see him take on every single day. And he just does such a great job doing it. One thing I've talked to you guys about on this call is really what a cool year it is for products. A lot of times we've had some holes and some areas in our product line where we could add some really cool products. I'm telling you, this is his year as the chemist, as he's made obviously some great products. We're going to talk about turn and burn today, but what's coming this year, the rest of the year, I'm telling you, every quarter, he is just pumping out some very cool products. Products I know that you guys have asked about, products that we've needed, products we've never had, products that are improved. So it's going to be a really, really fun time with Sisel. And he's just done a great job as a chemist in that way, and just making these fun products. In fact, I tested one this week off and on. I can't say what it is, but I'm testing it right now. So I don't know if you're able to see it or not, but it's always fun to test some of these things at the beginning. So everybody's saying hello. Still can't save the chat. Yeah, but we'll get it to you so that you can get that. So Tom, I'm going to turn the time over to you. He's going to talk about turn and burn. We have our teams going, and we still have our Australia team that is kicking butt out there. It's very awesome. So we're well represented, but just a great product. And when I always say, when I talk to people, I'm not one who needs to lose weight, but the ingredients that he's got in there, this is far more, keep letting people in, than a weight loss product. It is such a cool product. And we're seeing so many great results with it. Caden, and I remember when he talked in a meeting about trying this product, and I thought, Caden does not need to use this, but I'm telling you, his before and afters, and it's on, I think, our next magazine. It's very striking. We were talking about it in a meeting. I'm like, good heck, you don't even realize when you see somebody every day, the weight that they lose. And when they talk about that extra 10 or 20 pounds, what it really means in how he looks. So he's going to be on our call in 2 weeks, Caden is, and kind of talk about how he's done with turn and burn and how he's kind of incorporated that with the other products that he's used to get the results that he's got, because guys, it is amazing, his results. So Tom, I'm going to kind of let you take it with the turn and burn. There's some announcements with this products that you can talk to him about and let him know. So lots of stuff going on.
All right. Well, great. It's great to be on here today and, talk about turn and burn. I've been lucky enough to be trying this formulation for, quite a few months now, and it's definitely helped me maintain about 20 some odd pounds less than normally I have this time of year, and give me energy and suppress appetite and help me convert brown fat to white fat. And, but Liesl hit on something there. You think about how big America and the distributors we have here, and we have them in Japan and Europe. Well, guess what? We have 3 categories that in the competition that can be won every month. Well, the total number of sales were won by Doris and Kenton Burkholder, but the social media winner, this really goes to the marketing winner for last month, was Katie Larkin. And also, she was the coach of 10 people. And, they lost a total of about 43 kilos. And I know Liesel's a real visual learning. So that's kind of a small to a medium-sized kangaroo or 2 wombats. That's about 43 kilos. So that'll help Liesel realize just how much weight that really is. But that's what they've lost so far. And they're having results. And that's everything about results. And, Dad used to, I remember 40 years ago, we're going to make products so good that if we serve it in a jar, people are going to have those kind of products. And, we came from the industrial chemical business where, windows had to be clean and shiny and streak free, and floors had to be polished and not yellowed, and stains had to come from laundry. And so from a product development standpoint, results were everything. You could not tell somebody something was clean and bright when it was stained and dirty. So it was natural for us that we looked for products that work when we're developing things. Well, what that took was a real dedication to science, but not what's in the market and what everybody else is doing, because there are hundreds of thousands of studies that take place every day. But when you go to the store, those products that represent that category that's being studied might be 4 or 5. But there are thousands of studies. But because of marketing, they never maybe see the light of day, or because of regulations, or one skill that Tom really taught me was be innovative. You know, you need to find other ways to skin that cat or that wombat, to figure out another way to have success in that. And so I've really dedicated my life to finding ways to solve the problems that people can have. I mean, I see the term here, bridging the gap between science and human needs. And Dad and I, back in the 80s, that was our motto. We started that, you know, and other companies, our old company still uses that. But that's exactly what it was. Bridge that gap, because people don't want the same old lye soap. And as science finds things are more effective, or in our case early on, safer, that's what we go after. And so, you know, I want to say congratulations to the winners over the last month, and their money that they've received and their vouchers, but most importantly for their health, because it's that old thing, you can be a millionaire, a billionaire, or dirt poor. But if you're dirt poor and you have your health, you know, that's better than being a millionaire or a billionaire with very poor health. And so, you know, one exciting statistic, I was back in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago. We had about 450 people come to a 2-day convention there, and we were talking about turn and burn. And so I told them, you know, that out of all the teams we have that are involved with weight loss and we're concerned about results, the top 25 over January and February, those top 25 teams lost an average of 8 pounds per person. And that a combined total of over 2,000 pounds. And that's a big number. And so if you visualize, you know, that's a lot of blocks of butter or cheese. That's a lot of fat that people are losing. But more importantly, they're becoming healthy. So when I designed this product, last year we didn't bring out anything new for weight loss. We still had the number one product to help us in ketosis, and that was our Sisel Thin product, because I wanted to try and get more, and thank you, 909 kilos is what that is equivalent to at 2.2 pounds per kilo. Whoever did the conversion there, that's a lot of kangaroos and a heck of a lot of wombats. But it's all about the results. So people are losing weight. So when I, you know, like I say, I've studied things for many decades now in weight loss and anti-aging and energy and different metabolisms. And early on, I was encouraged, you know, with my father to go to the university and study chemistry and biology. So I understood, had a better grasp of these research projects that were going on in metabolism and how it worked. Well, as I started looking at, you know, ketosis obviously is very effective. When we're in ketosis, we're consuming fat stores. And it's not really one size fits all. But when we can get into that fat burning mode, our bodies naturally want to, just like everything in the animal kingdom, we want to retain energy stores for time in need. Well, obviously with the the advent of modern technology over the last 200 to 300 years, you know, foods have become more processed. Sugar consumption was very low if we go back 250 years ago. Just a few pounds a year, 2, 3, 4 pounds, to where now we're consuming, you know, 50 or 100 pounds or kilos of sugar every year. And many times it's just in things we don't even think about. They're putting them in cereals and different things, but we're getting all these extra calories that we really don't want because they want to appeal to our taste buds. Well, our bodies are extremely efficient. They want to store these fat reserves. So that brings about a real problem of how do we eliminate this? And, the first thing, you consume less. Yeah, if you burn more and consume less, that works, but it's very difficult. So I've gone through and over the course of 20 some odd years, and with help from people here at work, and put them on task to find out about white fat metabolism, brown fat metabolism, ketosis, the process of the liver converting these fat stores into energy, and, the brain shifting from simple glycogen and sugars to using ketones as energy. And so as we look at that, we look for studies that help that process move at a faster pace and to become more efficient. And that is where these results come from these people. So Turn and Burn combined with Sisel Thin is the most advanced using the science that's out there that is years ahead of what other companies are doing. There's still all the high caffeine and, the one-offs, raspberry ketone, green tea extract or green coffee bean, or they do these, different types of diets. I've combined so many different ingredients, and then also to follow the rhythms of the day. We have a daytime formula, and that's different than a nighttime formula. Our bodies are not the same throughout the day. We have times that we need to consume energy. We have times of the day we need to sleep. But I'm trying to maintain thermogenesis and fat conversion and fat burning for 24 hours. So you look at the multitude of ingredients that I have put into this formulation. I mean, reality is there's probably 8 or 10 different formulas that many companies would sell to achieve what we were doing. But then also we put them in the time frame when people should consume them. We have a little bit of melatonin to increase our thermogenics at night. We have natural sources of caffeine to increase our energy during the morning. And these come through natural sources. We have ingredients in there that help us convert white fat as energy for brown fat. Because it's really interesting when you look at a brown and a white fat cell, they're very different. A brown fat cell is unregulated. It just wants to burn energy all the time. A white fat cell only consumes enough energy to maintain the cell. But the thing they have in common is they both are lipids and they're both stored. But if we can take, and the one is basically a gas can and the other one is a chainsaw. And it's just being revved up all the time. So the faster we can get fuel into there, the more this will consume. And that's why we're seeing that. That's why when we see 909 kilos have been lost over the last 2 months with these 25 groups, it's for that very reason. But everything when we consume nutrients is part of a clean diet. We can't eat an entire cake every night at dinner and have so many calories and think we're going to lose weight. Will this help? Yeah, it definitely will help, but it's overwhelming for our body. So never before has a formulation like this been put together. In fact, when I was doing the research on this formulation, I contacted PhDs who work in this field in biochemistry and biology on this conversion, and talking to one particular individual. They said, well, I'm under contract with a pharmaceutical company. They're trying to do exactly what you're doing with a prescription medication. And they said, how did you get turned on to this? And well, it's 60 years of living, I guess, and being 24/7 dedicated to our body and our health. And so he said, yeah, you're right on task with what they are doing in this industry beyond the health food store in helping to remove these fatty stores. But this is part of a clean diet. And we can go to real extremes. We have people who are called, I've often wondered if Leisel's part of a group called the skinnies, because they will do that. And what happens is they also do that to turn on their sirtuin gene. And they starve themselves to death. Very unhealthy, but they reduce fat. They go into ketosis. They turn on the sirtuin gene. So they have these youthful hormones. Well, that's not the answer, and you can't sustain that for a lifetime. This formulation, you can, and I've done it for going on a year now, and I have maintained less than 20 pounds where I'm normally at. And unfortunately, I can't say that. I wish I could say, and I'm running 5 miles a day. I wish I were, but I'm not. Unfortunately, I sit at this desk probably way too many hours every day, but it's what I enjoy doing. But this product makes it possible to see a reduction in weight and an increase in health while I do what I do every single day of the week. And I'm hoping when we get into spring that I can do some things. I do a lot of things physically around the ranch and everything, but I'm hoping I can do a little more cardiovascular and do some things to increase my calorie consumption. As we do that, we always think about running the marathon, walk around the block, do some things like that. Eat a cleaner diet, less processed foods, but eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat different types of meat, stay healthy, and don't, say, I can never do this again and eat this again, because that makes it almost impossible for people to maintain that for a health, for a lifetime. Now, this formulation, we have brought it out for weight loss, but if you look at the ingredients in here with resveratrol and ashwagandha and all these different ingredients, this is an extremely healthy product for so much more. And we've had great testimonials coming in, and I won't bring up what those are just because of the fact that, you can't make claims that would get us into hot water. But people who are diabetic and people obviously who are losing weight and heart health and things, we've had some incredible testimonies come in with people who are seeing very good to excellent results in other categories of their health. And so turn and burn, I don't think I'll go through every single ingredient because you can see what those are. One thing I wanted to bring up that is a real thriller. When you order the turn and burn, when it flies all the way over the ocean, we find out that we have an extremely tight seal on the PM, the nighttime formulation, the blue label. Some of those bottles now are concaving because that formulation is creating a vacuum in there. And I know customer service last couple of days said, well, then don't take it. It's fine to take if you receive those bottles, but I feel bad about that. So we're going to perf some of those labels. So we have those exchanges, kind of like coffee. You have to have a vented seal on that. So if you have a bottle that has a dent in the side because of 35,000 feet, that change in air pressure is causing those bottles to flatten, and we'll work on that to get that taken care of. But this formulation, one point I'd like to bring out is that a white fat cell has very few mitochondria, and that's the energy organelle within a cell that produces energy. And so in a white cell, you have very few. In a brown cell, you have many of those. And so that's why we're trying to get this to the brown fat cells to be consumed. One thing I thought for a long time, and I'd heard that this is the hard part about weight loss for many people. I diet, I lose weight, going from January to May, and then I start putting that on. And so as we take this turn and burn product, one great thing that it stops us from doing is having that yo-yo effect. This is a product you can take your entire life just for general health, but to help maintain your weight. So even if you just tend to put on an extra 3, 4, 5 kilos, it will help to maintain that naturally. If we get to a certain point with our weight gain, it was always thought that, hey, you're born with so many white fat cells, you'll never have any more of those. That is not true. If we get to a certain point and our weight gain gets to be too much, we will produce more white fat cells. Well, what happens if we go through a real starvation period? They shrink in size, we lose weight. Well, now we have that many more cells that will pick up these extra calories. And so we find this yo-yo effect that when we come back, we actually gain more weight. So so you want to stay on this product, even if your weight's getting close to where you want it to be, and it will help maintain that. So now let's put Sisel Thin into the mix. So if you can remember 20 to 30 minutes before you eat, take 2 of these Sisel Thin capsules is what I do, or at least 1, but I always take 2, because what that will do, these are ketones, and our brain usually has the biggest call for energy, because if we black out, we go unconscious, it affects everything we do. And so when we get hungry, a lot of times it's because we are lacking energy to our brain. If we have ketones in our body, we don't feel the cravings for carbohydrates or simple sugars specifically. So it's very important, if you're on a weight loss management system using Turn and Burn, if you really want to accelerate those results 20 to 30 minutes before you eat, flood your body with ketones. And then you have less of an appetite for carbohydrates, but you have very clean energy for your brain and in your body. That's the natural process, that when we are in ketosis, our bodies are using ketones, not sugars, for energy, and these do not promote weight loss. And so Sisel Thin plus Turn and Burn. And so they're incredible products, and I think we have a big presentation on that if you want to look at that, and it'll explain each of these ingredients and the unique ingredients like kudzu and pomegranate and why do we have melatonin and these different things for thermogenesis and help fats transfer, change for energy for brown, and you can look through that. One thing I want to talk about today that actually many of you know Doc Fizz here in America, and he was talking about the different supplements that he takes. And one thing as a company, like Lisa was talking about, we're a research and development company, unlike our competition, but we use direct sales or network marketing as a vehicle to get these products to market. So we're heavily invested in researching science that give people the benefits they're looking for. 95% of all of these companies are looking for a product to fuel a compensation plan. We're looking for dynamic health, but we have many products out there. And so when I was back in Pennsylvania, and then Doc Fizz today had texted me about all the different supplementations that he takes, and I thought I need to answer him back on this. It really comes back to what was inspired early on with Sisel for overall general health, and that's the triangle of life. Because when Tom Sr., my father, Liesel's father, started this, going back many years from now, we wanted the very best supplements that would affect overall health. We can target products for joints. We can target products for brain. We can target products for cardiovascular, muscle building, all these different things. And we have the products. We have the latest science that give you the very best benefit. But when you're talking to somebody, don't be concerned that you don't know what these 40 different products do. If you're concerned about weight loss, talk about Turn and Burn. Talk about Sisel Lean. Talk about Sisel Thin, leave it at that. Those are targeted responses for different things. If we're talking about brains, let's talk about why is Super Omega important? Why is brain vitality important? Same for joints, Sisel B3, Renovator. There's a lot of things we can do. But if you're talking to somebody about overall health, talk about how people live longer, healthier. And those are encompassed in Fucoidan, Eternity, and Spectromax. Some scientists think that 97% of all aging is because of free radical damage. You know what? They're right. And so we have the most broad spectrum antioxidant in Spectromax. We know of 2 great studies that show 2 of the populations in the world that live longer, healthier, consume resveratrol in a liquid form. That's Eternity. We know that more people that have the highest percentage of consuming Fucoidan live to be over 100 years of age down in Okinawa around Japan. Well, that's what we have in Fucoidan. And since then, there are thousands of studies that show how adaptogenic it is for immune systems and for heart health and antiviral. And scientists are going crazy with this because they're having the results. So don't get too wrapped up in all the, I need to know what Renovator does and brain vitality, each ingredient. This is a very simplistic business. And with those 3 products, you can address general health for all people. And then we can have targeted responses for joints and heart and brains and muscle building and weight loss and all the different things that we want. And it's exciting. Science is exciting. And we are at the forefront of that, and we will continue to be at that like that. We brought out CBD. We were the first in Utah to be licensed. We were the first manufacturer to be licensed for CBD, and we had the very best, we have the very best CBD out there, being broad spectrum. I had spent 3 years prior to that thinking I would never bring it to market. But that same dedication to the latest science and the best processes, I have to every single ingredient we have. But unlike our competition, we have Sisel Safe, which is a whole nother quality level that no other company follows. We, especially in Australia years ago, we had a lot of lawsuits from big retailers, multi-billion-dollar companies saying, do not talk about parabens. Do not talk about sodium lauryl sulfate. Do not talk about cocamide DEA, because they were using all their formulations. We didn't pinpoint their products, but we said we don't want that in our products for various reasons. Never lost a lawsuit. The truth will set you free. And I truly believe in that. And so we have our FDA standard of quality. We have our Utah Department of Ag quality standard, but the highest standard is the Sisel Safe standard. And that is something that I'm the steward for that now, and Liesel's the steward of that, and Thomas and Caden are the next generation. But even more importantly, we have hundreds of employees who have learned that. Some started last week. Some have been here for 25 to 30 years being part of that mission, not even at this company, but our company prior to this. That's something that you don't go to school for. It's not something that you are born with. It's something that you fill in here, and then you put it in here that is the standard you live by. We have the very best products. We have the very best distributors out there. And I greatly appreciate everything that each one of you do in sharing this very powerful message and this mission. There is not one person in the world that doesn't benefit from Sisel, either in its products, its business opportunity, but most importantly, the great health and the message that we have. So I wish you the very best. And I look forward. I hope we have some Mower Mountain winners that want to come up and be part of that this year, or some people who just want to come up and take a tour of the facility and enjoy some time here. So with that, Liesel, back to you.
Awesome. And we're also planning some trips going out there to see them as well. I love what you have had to say, about, and we talked about this earlier, you and I today, just the foundational products that truly over time, they just are always, they're always our best sellers because they really do the job they're supposed to do. And that science never changes. It's just amazing. One thing I noticed, we've had our distributors who've won, they've been on our calls. I've interviewed one this last Monday as she got 6-star. We had 2 6-stars and a 7-star on our last call that we were talking about. Very cool. But one thing I noticed when I spoke to them and asked them, and I had a little, I was asking them some questions on how they felt like they run their business as opposed to maybe how when they started, has it changed for them? And 2 of them said the exact same thing. And that is that when they first started, they thought that they would get out there and truly talk about everything. Like Tom says, we have a lot of products, talk about all of them. Mm-hmm. And they said, and I've heard this before, that the key truly is not to get out there and really talk about the products, but to listen to what a person needs.
That's
and
right.
We have foundational products, but then truly listen what's happening in this person's life, what's happening in this person's health. And then you branch out into the different other products that we have for just those issues. So that, it's a very specific health plan, Sisel health plan for them. And I think that's kind of what we want to really talk about with our distributors, just how powerful that is. And
it is. And really what we hope for is that as people have great results, like these people who have lost an average of 8 pounds, one thing I hope is that they gain a greater confidence for what we do here. And they say, oh, yes, Sisel products work. And when they have that confidence, then when they're out there talking to other people, their testimony is their best sales tool they have. And then their ears are the second best because they listen to what people's needs are. If somebody is concerned about weight loss and you're talking about brain health, well, you've missed the whole message that they're really concerned about. But what I hope people have in Sisel, you can get online, you can look at all the shiny stainless and the labs and everything we've invested, but I'm the kind of person that I worry about if the dairy farmer's right-handed or left-handed that milks the cow. And so I don't want people in the field worried about that. That's on my shoulders to worry about what time of the year is the astragalus root in Mongolia or China harvested, and how much cycloastragenol is in the tip of the root, and was it a 3 or 4 year old plant? Those are the details I worry about. I just want people to have great health, and I want them to have products like nobody's had before. I want them to listen to people's needs and share their great health and their testimony and their experiences at business building, because that's what drives this mission forward.
Absolutely. And if you remember Amanda Koblentz, because it can be any product, surprisingly, and that's one thing I asked all of them is, what was that product that when you tried, because everybody has one, that was like, wow, I love this. And for her, it was exfolium. She had an issue with acne. And she said it was amazing. It worked so well for her. So obviously a very easy product for her to talk about. And that's exactly what she did. Very easy product to show. And she just said, it's my favorite. She says, a lot of people can talk about the triangle and that's other things. And she says, I laugh sometimes because mine's exfolium. But to her, it was a very emotional product that solved an issue for her.
Absolutely.
Filled that need, like Dad used to say. And, I think so when Tom talks about our foundational products will never change. And then listening to the needs, as our leaders do, I think it's super important. I know many of you on this call today are doing that as well. So very cool.
Okay.
Well, we are going to let you go. You're welcome to stay on, but I know you've always got a million things to do. So we'll let you go. And thanks for joining us. And we'll have you on again.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
See you. So the one cool thing, and I think we don't realize just how cool it is we still have no back orders. I mean, once in a while I'll have somebody say, hey, this is on back order. It's been so cool. I've just loved that. That was just such a hard time for us and a lot of other companies, but love to be able to say no back orders. Our March promo, a great one, One Avenger, Renovator, Body Shield, Stemolytics, a $62 savings, which is a ton for 204 PV and 172 CV. And you're going to love the next month's promo. So we just worked on that, and you're just going to absolutely love it. But one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because it's been going up and down, and that is CBD. So at first we weren't sure that we were just going to kind of blow out the CBD and be done with it. And then we decided, yeah, we would. We had we'd marked the price down and until we could get what we needed to as far as our border issues, then we would just sell those products. But UPS came back and said they wouldn't take UPS from us anymore at all. They just were taking those packages almost every single time. So that just stopped that whole thing for us. I'd gotten pricing done and we were having customer service announce it. And then, like I say, UPS came on and just said, we can't do that. Now we're looking at other companies that can, but the reality is we have to find a way. And like I said, we keep talking about this in different meetings that some people can do it and some people can't. We have a formula that's been approved by the TGA because it's different than our CBD that we have for the US, which is why we did that. So we could conform to that. So it's kind of one of those things where, it's just kind of weird. And we've got a couple people working on it, but just know that it's not anything that we've let go. Like I say, if anybody hears of anything or, a company that's doing it some way and that how, let me know. But we are working with the government to see what we can do there. And hopefully we'll have some answers soon, because I know that some of you really love this product and we want to be able to offer it to everybody there. But for those of you who are still thinking that it's available, it is not. So we're not going to be offering it for the time being. So, but yes, congratulations on the back orders. Now our next call is going to be on April 8th, and we're going to kind of wrap it up on the turn and burn, but Caden is going to come on and he's awesome. And he was talking about, his weight loss with this product and just kind of some interesting things that he's been experiencing with it. And it's very cool, which is why we put his pictures up. And I said to him, he wanted to come on today. And I said, no, I got your dad. And I want to be able to have you both on at a time where really you can have your whole time, because he's also working on some very cool stuff for us. I've talked to you guys about some products coming. We had our Christmas catalog. We've got a summer one coming and very cool things that he's putting that together. And yes, Sandy, it is definitely easier. So, and that's the way that we want it to be. But like I say, very cool things. That will be our next call on April 8th, guys. So kind of keep that in mind. And I'm going to be putting out probably the first of this next week, a little invitation to a few people to talk about some things that we kind of need to dial down on in the New Zealand and Australia market. So if you're on this call, you probably, and you're not from Australia or New Zealand, just know that you probably won't get one of those invites. And if you do, it will just be a time. And hopefully you can make a Zoom call where we can talk about a few issues that I kind of want to talk to us on, rather than at a time where we're on a call. So with that, guys, geez, 4:43, time flies. And I thought that was a great call. We lost Sandy, it looks like. Let me bring her back. But the cool thing about this turn and burn, I thought about having Tom on again, is having so many people. And Tom said this in the beginning, because he says it's going to take a little bit for people to start losing weight, which can be a teeny bit frustrating. I remember saying to Milo, oh, is that going to be weird? It was exactly like he said it. The science is exactly as he said it would be. And now the pictures that we're getting in, I would love to have some of those on maybe with Caden, some of those distributors who had some amazing weight loss with this product. So hopefully if I can, this next week, I'll have a couple of them on too. They can show their before and after pictures because they're stunning. And I'd like for you guys to hear kind of the products that they use besides Turn and Burn to get the results that they've got this year. So it's very cool. And that will be our last Turn and Burn. Like I say, I'm just having it again because there's some really cool things happening with it for people. And I kind of want to talk about what they've been doing with it and make sure, as we kind of close out the weight loss season, that we have a few last good conversations about it. So with that, guys, I will let you go on your Saturday morning. Thank you. This is Easter long weekend in Australia. Oh, okay. Good to know. So, and April 8th is the new, okay, thank you for telling me that. So that will be when, again, I drop down a time for me and it will be 5:00 on my call then. And that saves, okay, perfect. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate that. And it's Easter Saturday on the 8th. Okay, thank you, Sandy. Okay, wait, so that might not be great. What do you think? Anybody want to unmute and have a suggestion?
Maybe just the week later after Easter.
Yeah. Week before the week later. Yeah, for sure. I'm canceling the 8th. That's just, I don't want anybody on Easter worrying about a call.
No, it wouldn't be appreciated.
No, at all. I understand that. So send me a message in the next 2 days. And if you guys been thinking how that is, probably we'll go a bit longer and maybe round up a few more people to hop on the call. So what would then be the one after the 8th? Anybody got a calendar handy that they can look at? I guess I could look on my phone.
15th it'll be, Liesl.
15th. Okay. You know what? Right now, I'm going to say 15th. Okay. So let's just count on that week after the Easter and make it easy. No wondering what's going on and give us some time to have some fun stuff to talk about when we meet then. And I'll have this call available in the next few days next week. It was a great call. Lots of great information. He's always awesome. So we loved having him. Thanks for joining us this weekend. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. And it was good to see our New Zealander. Thanks, Gert, for joining us as well. See everybody.